This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article from Monday, June 29th, 2015, Greece over the brink. Now, there's a couple significant things about this, but let's get into a little bit of a history. Greece has had some problems. They're way overspent. This had to do with part of them being part of the euro. One of the tragedies of being part of the euro is if you fuck up, then you got to go under the austerity measures of the euro, and Greece could not find its own solution because it was part of the euro. And this is what's killing Greece right now, is they need their independence. And the technocrats in the banking systems are putting the lowdown on Greece. Now, yes, they did screw up. Number two, yes, they have had tremendous amount of austerity measures over the last 5 years. They decreased their government workforce by over 25%, and they have also raised taxes. However, these austerity measures also helped continue to keep the economy of Greece in the toilet. And it being in the toilet and having to pay back based on all those austerity measures, even though they did what they were told to do, is making it even worse for Greece. And the point right now is they are at the point of no return. They may even have to pay in script, which means that they will have to have a parallel banking system with the euro so that they can pay people, because they won't, their banks themselves will not have the money to make payments or to make salaries, etc., as this week goes on. Now, they did close the banks themselves for the next 6 days. So we don't know if there'll be a reprieve about that or if they are not. Now, and a lot of the stuff about the Greece and their overextension of how much money they borrowed, part of it is true. A tremendous amount of it is not true. Exceptionally exaggerated in the media and manipulated so that these austerity measures could be put in place and the banks could get all of their money back whatsoever. And the big problem with that is because Greece is part of the euro, and Dr. Krugman even questions whether there should be a central banking system in Europe, because here you have one banking system, but you have still independent countries, and still each one of those countries has a separate government. So that can make things pretty bad. And the government of Greece has been balking at this. Dr. Krugman thinks they should continue to balk because being part of that part of the euro does not allow them to do things like other countries have done, where they decrease the value of their currencies and then make their exports cheaper, so to speak, and that allows them to get their money back, so to speak, allows them to get back to where they need to be. Now, and the reason why they should balk, in terms of what Dr. Krugman is saying, is that number one, the austerity measures have already hurt them enough. They really can't be hurt that more. Most of the changes have already been done. But the real reason they should balk is because as long as the technocrats in the European banking system, can use the threat of breaking the country because they will not have any money in a couple of days, that forces them to accept these European bankers' terms and conditions, and makes it even worse for Greece. So Greece is in a perpetual cycle where it can't get any better, because every time it tries to get better, it gets worse because it's doing exactly what it's told to do. Now, one of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is that, remember that we have had our own austerity measures here in the United States for a long time, over 5 years, just like Greece. We have our own banking system, which is the envy of the world. So we're not in any trouble compared to Greece. But let's remember that the banking system in the United States, is using this austerity measure, in essence, to exact revenge, to take us down. It's going after people, especially those in the housing market, etc. And the thing is that it's not helpful. We could have earned our way out of this if we had used stimulation as opposed to austerity. And this is something we need to monitor and monitor closely. Now, another thing that could be hurting also in the American system, because not only do we follow the European banking system some, we're also following the stock market. The stock market's way down in Europe today. We'll see how it plays out in the United States. But Puerto Rico just declared that their banking system is like 70 billion in debt, and they can't pay it. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And this is going to have could have some long-term effects in terms of how the economy may be come 2016. We'll see how it plays out.